Hello and welcome back to the Creator's Angle. I'm your host, Big Phil. Today we're talking about perhaps the most important part of any creator's toolkit. It's not the camera, not the drone, not the computer we edit on. It's the glass. It's the eye of our camera. We're talking about lenses. There is an amazing quote that has guided so many of my purchasing decisions, and it's the core of today's episode. You date the camera body, but you marry the lens. I want you to really think about that. What does it mean? To me, it means the camera bodies are temporary. Technology moves fast. A new model comes out every couple of years with a few more megapixels or a slightly better autofocus system. They are exciting dates, but the relationship is often fleeting. A truly great lens, however, is a marriage. A high quality piece of glass can last you a decade, moving with you from camera body to a camera body, always delivering beautiful results. That's why I believe it's vital to invest wisely in your lenses. A quality lens on an older camera body will almost always outperform a cheap lens on a brand new camera. I'm pretty convinced on that. Today, I'm opening my camera bag to share the 3 lenses I've married. This is my personal Holy Trinity, the 3 zoom lenses that cover almost every single situation I encounter in my professional and hobbyist work. Now, when we talk about the Holy Trinity, it's a term you'll hear a lot. For some, it means a set of prime, fixed focal length lenses. For me, and for many others, it refers to a set of professional f2.8 zoom lenses that cover a massive range. My Trinity contains of the Sony 12 to 24mm f2.8 G Master, the Sony 24 to 70mm f2.8 G Master 2 or second generation if you would like to, and the Sony 70 to 200 f2.8 G Master second generation. These are top tier, latest on the market lenses. Maybe not the 12 to 24mm because it's been on the market for a couple of years, and the others been on the market for about a year and a half, but still, they're the latest from the Sony lineup. And yes, they give me a competitive edge, but they also give me a creative freedom. So let's start with the one that is on my camera 90% of the time. The first lens, my absolute workhorse, is the Sony FE 24 to 70mm f2.8 G Master second generation. This lens is, in a word, spectacular. It's super fast, the build quality is top notch, and its performance for both photo and video is the best I have ever used. Its primary role for me is filming. The versatility is just unmatched. On a single shoot, I can be vlogging at 24mm without having to stretch my arm out. Then I can zoom in to 35 or 50 for a perfect medium shot during an interview, and then push all the way to 70mm for a beautiful compressed close-up. It gives me that epic cinematic perspective on the fly. It is almost always the lens I have mounted when my camera is on my DJI Ronin RS3 Pro gimbal. I remember filming an automotive advert recently. This lens allowed me to capture these huge wide shots of a van driving through the Scottish Highlands, and then in the very next shot I could seamlessly move into some extreme close-up of the headlights, the stitching on the seats, the texture of the dashboard. The lens lets you get incredibly close to your subject while remaining perfectly sharp. I just couldn't have achieved that fluidly with any other lens. Its biggest strength is its incredibly fast and silent autofocus, but almost as important is its weight and size. It's considerably smaller and lighter than my previous Sigma 24 to 70mm f2.8 art lens, which makes a huge difference on a long day of shooting. The biggest downside? It has to be the price. It currently costs around £2,300 here in the UK, and it is a massive investment, but from my experience, it's worth every single penny. It is the definition of marrying a lens. The second lens in my trinity is the one I reach for when I need to tell a different kind of story. It is the Sony FE70-200 f2.8 G Master 2nd generation. This lens is the perfect partner to the first one. It picks up right where the 24-70 leaves off, extending my reach all the way to 200mm. This is my kind of compression and bokeh. For those who are new, compression is that magical effect where the lens makes the background feel bigger and closer to your subject, creating a really dramatic, layered look. And the bokeh? The quality of the out-of-focus blur is buttery smooth. I absolutely love this lens for portrait photography, both in the studio and on the street. For shooting cars, it creates that amazing separation between a vehicle and the background that makes that image pop. There are times I'm out shooting with my 24-70 and I just can't find the inspiration. I literally say to myself, right, it's time to put this one away and get the 70-200 out and get creative. It forces me to see the world differently. Interestingly, the only reason I bought the Sony version was because at the time Sigma didn't make a 70-200 f2.8 for Sony. But to be totally honest, I have zero regrets. This lens is incredible. That said, third-party lenses from Sigma and Tamron are fantastic and often 30% to 50% cheaper. They are a brilliant alternative if you're on a budget. My favorite feature on this lens is that it has an internal zoom, so the barrel doesn't extend when you zoom in and out. This makes it more durable, better weather sealed, and easier to balance on a tripod. The autofocus is silent and instant, and the results are just breathtaking. Trust me, absolutely breathtaking. Okay, it's time for our pro tip and pro idea. Today's pro tip is about something crucial for video shooters: understanding lens breeding. Lens breeding is a subtle shift in the field of view, almost like a tiny zoom that happens when you change focus from something close to something far away. On the cheaper lenses, this can be really distracting in a video. High-end lenses like the G Master lenses are designed with minimum focus breeding, which means your shots stay stable and professional as you rack focus. It's a small detail that makes a huge difference. And for this week's pro idea, if you have a zoom lens, I want you to try this. Pick one focal length, say 15mm or 35mm, and tape your zoom ring down so you can't change it. Now go out and shoot for a whole day at that focal length. This forces you to zoom with your feet, to move around and think much more carefully about your composition. It's the best way to learn the mindset of a prime lens shooter. The final piece of my trinity, the third lens that completes my essential kit, is the Sony FE12-24mm f2.8 G Master. This is my problem solver. What problem, you may think? Well, my Sony a7 IV camera has a slight crop when I shoot in 4K at 50 or 60 frames per second. 50 for Europe and 60 for States and North America. This means the image punches in a little bit and I lose some of the width of my shot. This 12-24 lens completely solves that. At 12mm, it is so incredibly wide that it gives me all the space I need and a bit more, because at 12mm with a crop, it's effectively 18mm, so really wide. It's my go-to lens for real estate videos and for filming car interiors. It just opens up a space, making it feel expansive and giving it new life. What is amazing is that even at 12mm, the distortion is so well controlled that it's super fun to take architectural photos with it. It allows me to get low to the ground and create these grand, dramatic images. Having these three lenses has allowed me to upskill my work, secure better paid gigs, and walk into the situations feeling confident and prepared. While I always say that gear isn't the most important thing, having the right gear that you can rely on is a massive help. So, let's wrap up with some final advice. The tough question. If I could only keep one of these three lenses, which would it be? It has to be the 24-70 f2.8 G Master 2. Its versatility is simply unmatched. For a beginner just starting out with a kit lens, what should you buy next? It really depends on your interest. If you're purely into photography, a cheap but brilliant prime lens like a 35mm or a 50mm f1.8 will teach you so much. If you want versatility for your video, look at zoom lenses, even if they have a smaller f4.0 aperture to start with. But the biggest mistake I see new creators making is listening to too many YouTube reviews and buying the wrong lens for what they want to do. Please don't fall into the influencer trap. If you can, rent a lens for the weekend. Experience it for yourself. Find out what you love to shoot with it. And finally, remember to take care of your lenses. Clean them, protect them. If you marry your lens, they will pay you back for years to come. I've put links to all three lenses from my Holy Trinity, plus some great third-party alternatives, into the show notes. If you're thinking of investing, using those affiliate links is a wonderful no-cost way to support the creator's angle. I really hope this deep dive into my lens kit was helpful. Next week on the creator's angle, we're going to get things moving. We are diving into the world of gimbals, and I'll be sharing my guide to mastering smooth cinematic movement with the DJI Ronin. Make sure to subscribe and follow the podcast so you don't miss it. Until then, go out and find your angle.